Good morning, everybody, and welcome to January 12th, 2015's issue, if you will, of Magical Monday Musing. And I want to first of all thank everybody that took a minute to send me a note about how much you are enjoying this new video format. I really appreciate you taking just a minute to check in with me and give me that feedback. It really made my week, so I'm grateful that it's working for you and you enjoy this. The other thing I want to do before we start in on this week's card is just recap a little bit about last week's card, Salmon and Queen of Cups. I'm just curious to hear how the Queen and the Salmon stimulated your path last week, or what experiences you might have happened. You can certainly respond to my post that I send out every week. I'd love to hear from you, or at Deb D'Onofrio on Facebook. You can friend me if you're not already a friend and share some comments. I know for me it was a very, very intense week of really drilling down into the archetype of especially Salmon and the self-sacrifice piece. That was really big this week. So she was a powerful ally, and she gave me a lot to consider and work on my own path. So I hope that she gave you some at least good food for thought, or really got you into yourself in a new way, because these cards can really be life-changing. They're a simple thing to draw a card for the week, but if you really work with it in your process, you'll just find amazing things can happen, especially this year where we just have such amazing potential available for our growth and manifestation and greater happiness and well-being in all areas of our life. So I just really want to encourage you to go for it every week and use this as a springboard to get you into your week in a deeper and more powerful way. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and see who's going to work with us this week. So I just feel like I want to pick this one this week. And so we're dealing with the Three of Bows, Fulfillment, and that's from our Wildwood deck. So the corresponding card to that is going to be the Three of Wands. And as you know, I'm also going to give you my own intuitive reading for you guys this week. I'm going to tune into those of you that are working with me with the musings, and tune into what's up with you guys. So let me find the card. Three of Bows, Fulfillment. All right, so, and I'll just pick through the bits that really jump out. The meaning is nourishment from a spiritual source gives inner security and joy. Goals and desires are reached, making life rich with emotional scrutiny and a sense of completion. Already I can feel a resonance with that after working with Queen of Cups last week. Okay, reading points. The archer must be at one with the bow to fully direct its potential energy. And just as the arrow passes through the bow, propelling it to its target with effortless grace, the questing heart and seeker of knowledge allows energy to flow through her. This combination of balanced energy and intellectual focus enables the mastering of any situation and allows the enrichment of success by being both at one with the environment and its inhabitants. Reaching this inner stronghold of strength and peace can only be achieved by constant reappraisal. Oh, I'm already feeling it, people. Vigilance and commitment to your goals. But the act of letting the power flow through you and having the trust to allow your arrows to fly completes an unseen universal circuit. That's a really powerful one. I want to come back to that when we switch over into the intuitive piece. The inner stillness and focus thus produced is easily apparent and observable to others, and builds a sense of trust, confidence, and security in those for whom you are responsible. This inner shining energy will inspire others to start out on their own path of discovery and sojourn to fulfillment. This is going to be an awesome week, people. I can already feel this. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to the Spiritual Tarot, which you remember I like to pull from as well for you. And we're going to go to the Three of Wands. the key phrase that's jumping out at me, so I'll read that first, is exploring the inner and outer unknowns. So I love how they contrast. These two representations don't always match up perfectly, which I like because it really fleshes out our understanding of what sort of archetype or energy we're working with. Okay, so this is by contrast, the view of this card, Three of Wands. Okay. I stand here contemplating my achievements and involvement in various ventures. I bring you the assurance that success is possible. We must not rest on our laurels too long, though. There's more to be accomplished. I nudge you to make new plans and investigate new areas of interest. If you ask yourself what you really want to do and listen to the answer, your work and relationships will progress with more ease and joy. I suggest that you look at how far you have come and evaluate the work you've done. Then decide whether and how to pursue other enterprises. Past successes instill the confidence and openness to try new things. I always inspire you to look within. See yourself more clearly, accept what you see, isn't that huge? Nurture yourself, another huge one, and determine how you want to be in the future. That's huge too. These are the tasks I set before you. Okay, so let's pop over here. The Three of Wands embodies the integration of various talents and energies. It encourages us to acknowledge previous accomplishments as well as explore new possibilities. Partial success can spur us to take on greater projects, is what it suggests. We can stand on the threshold of life at any age and accept the challenge to plumb new depths within ourselves and to take on new tasks or roles. Seek and accept the help you need, the Three of Wands tells us. Interact candidly with others whose interests are similar to our own. This card suggests us to be open and genuine in our personal dealings and pool talents and resources for the good of everyone involved. The shadow aspects of the Three of Wands include an inability to see the greater picture, failure to appreciate what is close to home, not being realistic about our own abilities, and being unwilling to try new things until someone else proves their worth. So when you draw this card, remind yourself of your successes and transfer that confidence to whatever you are currently engaged in. When necessary, adjust ideas and plans based on new input and the overall picture. Seek inner guidance to align your priorities with higher will. You express spiritual energy through everything you do. And lastly, look for patterns in your behavior. What is their significance? What do they tell you about your inner state of being? So there's so many things that were going off for me just reading these two pieces that I just want to plunge in here. So what my sense is that there are those of you that are listening to this week who are definitely feeling the energies of 2015 coming right up full, close and center. And they are juxtaposed with old ways of thinking and crusty old patterns, as I like to call them, that really want to just kind of break away. You want to, kind of like the Hulk, just shred that shirt, kind of just be who you are without the restrictions of limiting thoughts or ideas, old habits. Like what I feel is a lot of old habits around what used to make you feel comfortable, maybe a numbing behavior, whether that would be eating or having one too many glasses of wine at night, or maybe that is shopping, or maybe it's sleeping. It could be overworking. It could be procrastinating. You know what I'm talking about. And so I have a feeling of this phrase a friend of mine gave me, it's time to get with yourself, to really assess and look at where you're at, how well you have done with your successes. And oftentimes what we do is we go plunge from one thing to another without that integration process. So I feel like this week it is time to step back a little bit and to give yourself credit, to breathe that in, to really anchor that, be with that in your body, really recognize your talents and what you're good at, what you've been successful at, and then know that this card is bringing to you the opportunity for some new things that want to start to bubble up and to be activated in your life. So the card talks about working with others, being open to the benefactors, being open to networking, being open to how the universe wants to bring you resources that maybe you hadn't thought of on your own yet, or that are ones that will help to create a bigger whole for you or to fill in pieces of the puzzle for you. So I would suggest that you allow yourself to do some journaling this week, to do some get out in nature, to do some journeying, to leave some space in your week so that the awareness of what these contacts or connections could be can come forth for you. Allow yourself the opportunity to explore and be honest with yourself about maybe what it is time for you to just let fall away, to let dissolve, to let just crumble away from you, that's no longer serving you. I want to go back to this book for a minute because there are a couple of things that really jumped out at me. I love the part where we're learning about the attitude and the disposition of the archer. How we need to be at one with the bow to fully direct the potential energy. So what I love about this is the opportunity for us to really drill down, hone in, clear away the clutter, the emotional, the energetic clutter, and really get right in, zero in on the things that are next up for you. And oftentimes this does come from being in that quiet space. I always find for me, getting out in nature, even just burning a candle in the morning and sitting in complete quiet. In my heart of hearts, on the days where I'm really on my mark, I get up while it's still dark and I can sit in the quiet before everybody else gets up. And I can really sometimes engage in ways that are impossible once the day gets going, and once the rhythm of the day starts. So I'm going to encourage you to try that this week. If you don't already have a spiritual practice that involves sitting down and getting quiet or removing yourself from the external distractions, this week I really invite you to give that a try along with the energies of these cards and see what happens. The other thing that really pulled at me from this one is reaching this inner stronghold of strength and peace can only be achieved by constant reappraisal, vigilance, and commitment to your goals. So we're still early, only a couple weeks into the new year, but most of us, those of you that work with me or that sit with me here, sit in my circles or do private work, we spend time understanding the power and settling into intention and the energy of creation, and what will come from that, of course, are the manifestations that we're seeking. And so it's important to stay in rhythm, in vibrational understanding of those things, because quite often now you'll find that those will shift from week to week. And I know for myself, a lot of times I get the big picture, I'll get the big vision, but it could be years out. And so there's that ability to cultivate where we need to settle into what's up for us right now, what wants to be done, what wants to be acknowledged. And that's where that strength develops, and the peace of being able to settle in with the energies that are being presented to you and for you, and see what you want to do with them, see what the voice is or the impetus of those energies. How do they speak to you? How do they feel in your body? So when you're committing to your goals, understand that they have different arcs. And what I mean by that is there's different quote unquote timetables of completion, and to allow yourself to not get too caught up in your head about that, but to let it be a fluid thing and adjust accordingly, which can be really hard. Especially if it's something that we're really excited about or something that we really want. We have to understand that the universe, that our higher wisdom's working with us, and that there's an unfoldment process in all of these things. So the other thing I wanted to bring out to you was this phrase: the inner stillness and focus thus produced is easily apparent and observable to others, and builds a sense of trust, confidence, and security in those for whom you are responsible. But I would also say for those who are in your sphere of influence. And that's a little bit different than the traditional sense of being responsible for someone. So I want you to all think of yourselves as being the pebble in your own pond. That, of course, and this is a metaphor I use often in my work, is the pebble, it creates ripple effects that are influencing others, whether we're aware of that or not. So be aware of it. Know that you are that. Be a deliberate pebble in your pond, and be one that does influence others, but recognize the power of that and choose deliberately what you want to do with that this week. So it's easy to go unconscious. It's easy to forget the power that you have. And this week I would encourage you to remember it through these cards, through fulfillment, Three of Wands, and through Three of Bows, fulfillment. Know that you are here. Let me just jump off a little bit on that word fulfillment. To fulfill. Not only, so fulfilling your purpose is fulfilling. So take that to heart and see where you are, even though it's early in 2015, like I said, what wants to be fulfilled within you this year, and to really stay on your mark, like the archer. Stay on the mark. Stay on the mark of what it is that you want to achieve and create. So in your journal, or maybe on a little piece of paper that you decorate, I often will do that, is create a mini piece of art around those intentions. Or maybe there's a word that really strikes you this week that you just want to create or print up, a reminder that you post over your desk, or put it in your purse, or have it in the car, or wherever it can continue to influence you and hold that vibrational space for you this week. So know that you can access the archetypes and the energies of these cards throughout the week, every day. I would encourage you to sit in meditation a little bit, or spend just a few minutes a day. If there's a part of this video you want to call up, so you can just stay in the flow of that and really work it and work with it. So I want to thank you for joining me. Remember that you can, if you don't already subscribe to receive this, do so at circlemagica.com under the heading of subscribe. And I have a lot of different ways that you and I can interact, and so you can explore what those are on the website. And I hope that you have a magical and powerful week full of fulfillment, and I look forward to seeing you here again next Monday. Blessed be.